private chat too.
Put me on. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to the showcase. Bear with us. We're getting everything together in the background, getting everybody prepared, all lined up so everything can go as smooth as possible. I just want to just take this time out for you all to thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming. Thank you for supporting. I do plan to do some more things like this in the future. Please just check out my social media sites for new ideas that I have coming out. Um, I will tell you the next one that I do have coming out will be my domestic violence group that I want to do virtually. So stand by for the details on that. But until now, just sit back and relax while we get and give us a few minutes. Thank you. Thank you for those that are just tuning in. Stand by. We're getting everybody lined up so that we can have everything running smooth as possible, trying to keep on time. But I do just want to take the time out to give thanks for you coming out and supporting. Do watch out for any other projects that I do have coming out. I will be doing another showcase in a few months. I hope if you do have a business that you would be a part of it. If not, maybe support in other ways. But till then, just sit back and relax, and we'll be right with you. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming out to my showcase, the Black Entrepreneurs uh, online showcase. I wanted to do something to uh, shed a light on what's going on with the our Black sisters and brothers in their specialty fields. I know we all have the groups that we're all in to network and do things like that, but I just found it kind of hard to be in these big groups. Not saying that there's anything wrong with the groups, but sometimes you kind of get lost in the groups with the, you just become a number, a name somewhere in there and trying hard to network and navigate through it. Sometimes you get lost and trying to stand out sometimes is a little hard. So I wanted to come up with something that will spotlight some people that I have met networking since I started my business, and just showcasing their I if you're looking for anything, why you should choose them. Um, I would say when it comes to me, I was not a a businesswoman. That was not in the cards for me. But things changed. Things came up. COVID happened, and I was like, well, why not? Sometimes you have to be flexible. You have to be nimble, and you have to move. You have to adapt to your surroundings and things like that. And I just said, well, let me try it. I didn't go to school for business, but I kind of treat things that when I come into as if I was the customer. If it's something that I know that I wouldn't like, I wouldn't put out. If it's something that I do like, I'll put it out there. And that's how I approach most of the things that I do. So starting with my name for the business, Legacy, I wanted something that was bold, that was, um, you know, daring and authentic. And I thought that Legacy uh, was all of that in just that one name. I want something that leave a lot of things behind for the next generation coming behind us. And I wanted something for my boys to have. And that's how I came up with the name Legacy. And this is something that I hope, they'll pass on wealth for them and for my family years to come. Um, I am a behavioral mental health therapist. Um, I've been doing this for over 13 years. I started as a behavior aid, or depending on which hospitals and stuff you are, psych aid or a mental health tech. I went to school, got my bachelor's in psychology at the University of South Alabama. I got my master's in social work from University of Hawaii Pacific University, and I just started my career in a hospital, a mental hospital, um, dealing with kids from that have behavioral issues to mental health issues. I decided that that's what I wanted to focus on, moving into my line of work, becoming a business owner. Any type of mental health, from depression, anxiety, PTSD, self-esteem, anything like that. I have experience in all the way from toddlers all the way to seniors. Don't discriminate. I will, work with anyone. And if I am unable to, I have no problem referring you out to anybody that I know in my networking circle that will be able to help you. And especially with these fine ladies that I have coming up, you would definitely get the help that you need, that you are seeking. They will be able to help you with anything that you need. You know, the only um, thing about mental health and getting therapy is saying that you need help. And usually that is the hardest part. So, um, so at the end of this, you have all the information, you have all my social media sites, you know, add me at Legacy Counseling at Facebook, on Instagram, on um, on YouTube. I also have a YouTube channel. Be coming out with some other projects, connecting with some other people. As I said before, I'll be doing a domestic violence group. That is something that is dear to my heart. That'll be the next thing that I'm doing. I plan to do this showcase, another showcase, maybe in the next few months. Just wanted to get my feet wet, see how this goes, see how it turns out, and I'm glad that the response was great. And just sit back and relax, listen to the fine ladies as they tell you about themselves, their story, and how they got started. And if you have any questions or you want to reach out to any of them, feel free to DM me. I will make sure that they get it. Um, and we'll post all their information also at the end. But without further ado, here we go. And first person up we have is Miss Glendora Divine. She is a licensed professional counselor, board certified telehealth provider. And without further ado.
All right. Can you guys hear me good? Am I good? Am I good? All great. Thumbs up.
Yes.
Great.
And okay. I'm going to put myself on mute.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to thank Legacy Counseling for having this platform and allowing us to come in here today and be a part of this platform. I love to say, what up, though? What up, what up, what up, though? Hey, y'all. Hey, professionals. Hey, professionals. What up, though? Hey, I am Glendora Divine. I'm a licensed professional counselor. I'm board certified in mental health. Listen, I love to coach mental health clinicians on how to build, scale, and grow in telemental health. I became board certified in telemental health back in 2014, and that's when it was called distant counseling. I currently run workshops on telemental health monthly, and they're titled The Fundamentals of Telemental Health and Ethics. And they have been approved for 2021 this year by the National Board of Certified Counselors, NBCC, and Licensed Professional Counselors Association of Georgia, and which allows 6 continuing credit hours for each clinician that takes the workshop, improving their confidence and competence in providing services via technology-assisted media. Telemental health, right? All right, so telemental health is our new normal. So now our clients look on their phones and computers, and not only just to talk to somebody, but they don't come to lay on our couches anymore. Someone might still want to come in and do face-to-face, but a lot of them are using their telephones and computers. So what telemental health do, it allows clinicians to identify their niche. Niche down. It lets you identify who you really like to work with. It also gives you the ability to love going to work. It really do, because you are excited about the clients that you honestly are servicing. And it also helps you make the desirable income that you want, right? And how do I do that? By using a strategic plan. So college really didn't prepare us clinicians for branding or marketing ourselves, but we really have to do that. That's a must in the game of entrepreneurship. Now more than ever, it is imperative that mental health clinicians become more visible in their community and represent themselves as leaders in mental health. And by being visible in your community, it helps everyone in the community, from the families to the politicians. Well, I have created a system that guarantees to make you a leader in your community in mental health. It is called the VCC system: visibility, confidence, and competence. So I have learned that the imposter syndrome, it makes many professionals just stop in their tracks from elevating their career and believing in their abilities to grow, do more, or succeed in completing their dreams, right? We have a tendency to listen to negativity of loved ones, doubt ourselves, and be ready to encourage and uplift the next person without ever taking steps to stand in the spotlight for ourselves. We should be more visible as clinicians, though. Yeah, with our mental health expertise in our communities, we have worked hard to attain our professional degrees and position ourselves as power players behind other people in their companies, when we really should have been positioning ourselves as power players in our companies, right? Have you ever had a time in your life when you thought of creating something that was going to be really a great contribution to society, or something that makes you believe that you have a purpose for living, for how you work, what you do, and how you serve, or something that may have helped others benefit their life? Well, feelings of fear, thoughts of failing, when we run into those obstacles on our journey, it stops us, right? Just stops us completely in our track. But as mental health clinicians, we have to struggle with dealing with being also feeling like we're overworked and underpaid, or being confused on how to really pay ourselves. And those are enough right there for us not to believe in ourselves, right? And stay like quiet and unseen and unheard behind the shadows of others, triggering our own feelings of anxiety and depression. So no one knows what the future holds, right? But to understand, we must take risk in order to survive, right? So our negative self-sabotage, when we have no one to around us, that's what we do, is negative self-sabotage, when we really don't have no one around us that talk our business talk, because it's lonely being an entrepreneur. It's when we don't have nobody that's around us that's going to guide us on how to stand up and show our uniqueness, or encourage us to start being visible and shine the light on our own expertise. I want you to grab a pen or a piece of paper right now, because I'm about to give you 4 ways that you can become more visible in your community for real as a mental health professional. So, in order to become more visible in a surefire way, well, you got to know who your power players are in your community. So, I'm going to tell you where you can actually find them so you can start making these connections. The first place you can look and see who are your commissioners and who are your councilmen. The county, the city and the county officials, you really need to know who they are. So go to your local county or city website and see when the next meeting is going to be held. Show up in full glory, your uniform, as a mental health professional, and represent yourself, introduce yourself. And if you can, give them a gift so they can have something to remember you by. The second place is that the school board in your community, they're looking for you. They're always looking for ways to involve students in the community, as well as bring in speakers on mental health. Career day. You can do this, right? So go to the next meeting that the school board is having and identify key school board members. They're ones that you can introduce yourself to. And then again, if you can, leave a small gift. The third one is nonprofits. Yes, nonprofits. In order to be a leader in your community has to know you are there. And in order to do that, you got to build that relationship. And you can't do it just on websites and social media. So get out there, and here's a challenge for you. So grab your pen. Identify at least 5 nonprofits in your community. After you identify these nonprofits, ask yourself these 2 questions. What is stopping me from building a relationship with that organization? The next question: how can I bring mental health awareness based on my expertise to that organization? After answering those questions, take action. Create a plan to present to the organization and add to your journey of community connections. And my fourth way for clinicians to become more visible in their community, is to make connections with medical personnel. The best thing a mental health clinician can do is to get clarity, first of all, on their expertise, and then linking up with a referral, a prime medical referral source. Really, that local physician will complement you in your expertise, as well as be a constant door as a lead magnet for clients. So those are my four secrets, and I guarantee if you do the work, you will be known as a leader in your community in mental health. And if you are a mental health professional and an action taker, then register for my challenge. My challenge is called the Business Card 3.0. Come and learn how to create a business card that doesn't get thrown away. That is all about you being visible in your community. And that can be the gift that you give the power player that you are now going to meet. Okay? Register at dsgeorgia.com/challenge. I love to say, we only have one life. So live, don't just exist. Get the message, okay? And keep it moving. I am Glendora Devine, licensed professional counselor, board certified telemental health provider. That's me, y'all. Now back over to legacy counseling. If they're gonna come, if they not, I will take some more time. Any questions?
Thank you very much, Miss Glendora. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Great information, and I hope everybody received it well.
I hope so.
End of the showcase, but thank you.
Thank you.
And now a word from our sponsor.
The face of the Jackson Impact. Interrupting stigma. On mental health. How, you ask? Spreading awareness, sharing coping skills and blocking labels. Follow me for more on mental health. The Jackson Impact.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. And Crouch, life professional counselor, your inner critic expert. Hello, Miss Crouch. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am doing fine. And the audience, this is for you. I will mute myself. Go ahead.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for sharing your Saturday with us today. My name is Sharon Crouch. I am a licensed professional counselor. I am also a master addiction counselor, and I am the owner of Magnifying Expectations, LLC. We are a behavioral health firm, and we are located in south of Atlanta, Georgia, and Stockbridge, Georgia. So we're about 15 miles south of Atlanta, Georgia. I am known as the inner critic expert, and I'm going to get into a little bit about what that means and what that is. So my specialty areas are that little mean voice that sounds really loud in your head that tells you that you can't do something, that you are going to fail at something, that whatever you want to do is not going to work, that people are going to laugh at you, that people are going to make fun of you, and that what you want to do just will not happen. That inner voice is called your inner critic. And that is the focus of a lot of my therapy, because that little voice is the cause of so many issues. That little voice creates anxiety. That little voice creates depression. That little voice sometimes creates suicidality, people wanting to harm themselves because they don't believe in themselves and that they just have trouble connecting with others. So that's why I'm known as as the inner critic expert. So my areas of specialties are anxiety, depression, and suicidality. More specifically, my focus is on the underlying causes of that: low self worth, low self esteem, um, not believing in yourself, low confidence. And again, a lot of that stems from your inner critic, that voice that's in your head that says, hey, whatever you want to do, you're going to fail at. Whatever you want to try, people are going to laugh. And that inner voice sometimes will block you and stop you from being able to live your dream. So, a little bit about me, because I'm very passionate about that, because at some point in my life, I struggled with a lot of low self worth and low self esteem. I grew up in an era where it was children should be seen and not heard. And so a lot of times my voice was silenced. I was the youngest, and I was encouraged to just follow instructions, do what you're told, listen to the people that are older than you, listen to your authority figures, and just do what you were told. So I grew up listening, oh, listening to other people. Okay. I'm looking at myself and I'm okay. So I grew up listening to other people and just really, really doing what I was supposed to do. And so as I became an older adult, adolescent and young adult, I really, really struggled with, who am I? Because I had spent so much time just following instructions, following what people told me to do. I was rewarded for being a good girl, and a good girl listens to her authority figures. A good girl listens to what her older brother has to say. So I really, really struggled with my voice. Who was I? Who what did I like? What did I want to do? And so I struggled with decision making. I sometimes allowed other people to make decisions for me. I found myself in situations that I did not want to be in, but I didn't know how to speak up for myself. And so that is actually the tagline for my business, which is visualize, actualize, and magnify it. And so the work that I did to find myself is actually the work that I do with others to help them identify the reason why their inner critic showed up. The reason why their inner critic showed up, the reason why their voice in their head is saying you won't succeed and you won't fail, and then helping them manage that voice. So I am extremely passionate about that. And that is one of the reasons why I started Magnifying Expectations. One of the reasons I started Magnifying Expectations, because when I started to seek counseling or started to want to get help for myself, it wasn't a lot of people that looked like me, and it wasn't a lot of people who were specializing in what I needed them to specialize in. And so that's how Magnifying Expectations was created, and that is how I got the tagline: visualize, actualize, and magnify. Again, because what I wanted to do was be able to visualize myself happy, visualize myself excited about life, and visualize my goals, and then magnify them. And those techniques and strategies work because I sit before you, a proud business owner of a thriving practice. Also, what makes Magnifying Expectations a little bit different is we have what's called therapy partners. So I am in a building, and it didn't come like that. It just happened. I'm in a building with several other therapists. Now we have our own brands. We have our own unique brands where we have our specialties, and we found that when we work together, we really help people. So Magnifying Expectations is unique because we have a slew of therapy partners that are in the same building that help with well, we can connect you with other specialty areas. So we have people in our office that specialize in intimacy, sexual intimacy. We have people that specialize in couples only. We have people that specialize in adolescents and children only. We have people who specialize in life coaching. And so we're able to connect you and your family, your partner, to other partners within the same building. So that helps us with collaboration. I'm able to sit in on a session with my partner and you, just to help bridge the gap if need be. So we are a specialty partnership, and that's what makes us very unique. You're actually going to hear from one of my partners in the next segment as well. I want to talk to you also about a self care workshop that we have coming up. This self care workshop, it will be in person. Um, we'll be able to give you the link at the end, but it's called Mocha Magic Mental Health, and it's a conference for women of color by women of color. This conference will be in person. There will be free COVID testing. There will be a catered lunch. There will be swag bags, different speakers, round tables where you get to pick which topic that you want to know more about. I myself will be there talking about the inner critic. Also, my therapy partners will be there talking about sexual intimacy, communication. We will have a nutritionist there, a personal trainer there, someone who conducts yoga. So it is a full self-care conference with the total goal is being a healthier you. So I invite you to come out to that. That will be June 26th. The information will be at the end, but you can find more information on Mental Mocha Magic across social media, where you can join that platform with our therapy partners and buy your ticket. Please mention my name if you decide, if when you come, and also when you show up, look for me so we can connect. I also want to leave you with one thing that I always say. The thing that I say to all the people that come to me is I say to them, all behavior is the form of communication. And I encourage you to think about, what does your behavior communicate? If you want to be loved, are you communicating to someone that you're guarded by your actions, by how you stand, by how you talk, how you present? If you want that promotion, but you're not applying for that promotion, are you presenting as someone who likes to be where they are, that you're stable where you are? All behavior is a form of communication. I want you to think about your behavior, and if your behavior is communicating what you want to other people. If your behavior is not communicating what you want to other people, then I encourage you to, let's talk. Let's talk, let's figure it out. Let's talk about the thoughts that are preventing you from being where you are. Let's talk about the thoughts that are preventing you from showing up the way that you want to show up. So again, my name is Sharon Crouch. I am a licensed professional counselor. I am a master addiction counselor. You can find me at magnifymeconsulting.com. You can email me at sharon@magnifymeconsulting.com. And I am happy to share your Saturday with you. And I am happy to be a part of this. So thank you, Legacy, for having me out. And I'm going to take it back to Brenda. Brenda, if you have any questions for me, I'm very open. If not, then I am ready to introduce or ready for our next person to come up. Well, I don't think Brenda's ready, so I'm going
Taylor.
to. Oh,
Sorry, look, y'all. I'm in the country. You know how this internet go. So just work with me. We gonna have some. It looks like we're gonna have some blooper reels
okay.
at the end of this. So this ain't no Steven Spielberg.
Well, that's okay. I forgot I was looking at myself in a mirror, so I couldn't figure out which direction
uh,
I was going.
so
So I understand.
yeah, we'll keep it going. But while we're waiting on our next presenter to come up, just wanted to, what made you decide to be in a network instead of going solo?
Well, actually, I am solo. So I am actually a solo practitioner at the moment. And so what happened was, as we were in the same building together, we found ourselves referring people back and forth to each other because we knew what each other's specialty area was. It's kind of like how you said in the beginning that if you feel like you can't work with someone, then you will refer them out. That's what we found ourselves doing. So what we found ourselves saying is you should
Oh
still
my
see
God.
me, but you may need to have a counseling session with someone who focuses on sexual intimacy, or you may need to go to this, or you and your partner may need to go to this couples workshop that my other partner is hosting. And so what we found is that for a healthier version of you, you may need something in addition to what I'm offering. And that is just our goal, to have a healthier version of you. And so that's how we came together and said, listen, we know about
Oh
each other's
Lord.
specialty areas. We are connecting each other anyway. So let's talk about, how to make this collective a little bit more cohesive. And so that's how we started.
Okay, so one of the big things that is told a lot, especially when it comes to Black women,
Mhm.
is we can't work well together.
That's a lot.
And jealousy and all that and everything. How are you able to avoid that and be able to work with someone and uplift their practice as well, trying to keep yours out there and stand out?
So I'm going to tell you, Brenda, that's a myth, and I hate that myth got started
Y-
the way that it is.
Yes.
Black women, we can work well together, and we do work well together. And I'll be totally honest with you, it wasn't hard. It wasn't hard. When you know that what you do is good and solid, I know what I bring to the table. Again, because I know what I went through in my own life. I know the skills and the techniques that I had to put in place. I know that they're proven. I know that they work. I'm solid on them. I stand on them. And that's a part of my brand. So therefore, when you're solid in what you do, it's not hard to uplift somebody else. It's not hard to say to somebody else, hey, I know somebody who can help you in this area. So it wasn't hard. If you believe in what you do, and you believe that people should be the healthiest version of themselves, you know that you're not the only person that can help them. You know, you should know that you're not the only entity on earth that can help. So bridging that gap wasn't hard at all.
Okay, well, thank you so much for that. Well, we do have your partner in, so if you want to go ahead and introduce her.
Yes, I would. So, hi, this is my therapy partner and good friend, Miss Tiffany Taylor, licensed clinical social worker and the founder of Soul Solutions Georgia. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce you, or to give you to Miss Tiffany Taylor.
Hi, thank you, Sharon, and thank you, Brenda from Legacy Counseling. This is such a great honor to be able to spend some time with you on this Saturday and talk a little bit about Soul Solutions Therapeutic Services. So, again, my name is Tiffany Taylor, and I am a licensed clinical social worker. I received my master's from social work at Clark Atlanta University a long time ago. And I just entered the field full of energy and wanting to save the world. I started out in forensic social work. I feel like I probably worked in every part of social work. I've done medical, I've done hospice, including being a part of another private practice. I took some time off because if you live in the Atlanta area, you know that commuting is a big thing, and it was a little bit of a distance thing. So I took some time off and had some life circumstances that happened. And then I also joined the Army Reserve during that time. So I'm a behavioral health officer in the Army as well. And during that time, I got mobilized, AKA deployed, to the Middle East or Southwest Asia, whatever you want to call it. And that is when I kind of started this journey of I'm ready to get back into private practice, but I wanted to have my own business. When we're in the field or when we're working as social workers or as therapists, we don't get the business part taught to us. So it's kind of like you have to learn on your own. So I am very big on manifestation and affirmations and all of that. So my friends and I kind of get together at the beginning of the year, and we have this big vision board party. So the beginning of 2020, I put that on my vision board that I wanted to start my own private practice. And by the end of January, Soul Solutions Therapeutic Services was created. And by February, I was seeing patients, and then COVID happened. And we had to switch or make that switch from seeing people in person to telemental health, which I know Ms. Glendora Devine talked about, which is a whole nother beast in itself of learning how to make sure that you have everything up to par and standards. So during that time, I have been so blessed and fortunate in just my business booming and being able to see clients. So people that typically seek me out are people that have some type of intimacy issues. And that could be whether they're in a relationship or it's just something that they're experiencing individually, connecting with their sensuality or sexuality. A lot of times I find my clients who seek me out have experienced some type of trauma, whether it's sexual trauma or they've been in like a domestic violence situation or they've had poor self-esteem, whatever the issue that may have triggered them now having intimacy issues. I love also working with LGBT plus couples as well, or individuals, just providing them, because there's a lot of stigma around what goes on with them as well. So that is another area that I specialize and work in. I just really, it is my passion helping people reconnect in this area. Have experienced sexual trauma myself, and it was an area that I just felt like it is a part of us. It is a part of who we are, that if you believe in God, God created you. So we're supposed to have these emotions and feelings. So different circumstances may happen in your life where you may feel a disconnect from that. So my job as a therapist is to help you, one, identify where those blocks may have happened, what myths may have come up. Like a lot of times as women, we are taught that that's something we don't talk about. We keep that part of our life very private and business. It's not anyone's business. However, you have to think about the young lady who, hasn't engaged in any sexual activity, and she gets married, on her wedding night, and she's been waiting for this grand event. Like, how's she supposed to know what to do if no one's ever talked to her or she hasn't explored her body? One of the exercises that I do in my sexual healing workshop is just talking about the different parts of the woman's genital anatomy. And you'll be surprised, most people can't name them. So I do signature workshops. Like Sharon had mentioned earlier, we are a part of a larger group, therapy partners, like we like to call ourselves. We're going to be having a workshop in June 26th in Atlanta, and where I will be talking about self-care is sexy and how you can implement different things in your life to nurture self-care, but also make you feel sexy and make you get reconnected with the sensuality that we already know that we have. So I really hope that you guys will be able to join us. It is in person, but we also are going to be offering a virtual part because everybody's not ready to be out in the world. If you're like me, I'm kind of itching to be around people safely, though. So if I had to give any advice to someone that is looking to get in this field, well, in general, first, let me talk about social work. The one thing I would say is that you have to practice patience. And I'm not talking about the patience with your clients, because you shouldn't be in this field if you don't want to be patient with your clients, but the patience that you need to have with yourself. Most people who get in this field want to help people, right? But we have to understand that when you are doing this type of work, it's a journey, and it's not your journey, it's your client's journey. So sometimes you have to be still, you have to be patient with them and move with them in their journey, and still be encouraging and supportive at the same time. The other thing is that you have to really have a passion for people and helping people, because you're going to have some clients that are not going to be so nice. That are, some people don't even know why they need to be in therapy. That somebody told them and they just started going. So you have to be patient with those clients as well, the difficult clients. So again, I am so honored to be able to talk to you about Soul Solutions Therapeutic Services, where we help you transform your life and heal from toxic issues. And I just want to invite everyone out to Mocha Mental Magic Conference. It's our first conference, first ever, and it's going to be June 26th. That's all I had. Hello. I think we're waiting for some other people to come on.
We're waiting.
There you go.
Okay. Can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I was talking to somebody then. As I was saying, I'm putting the disclaimer out. I'm in the country. The internet's going in and out.
It's okay. It's okay.
So we're gonna keep it rolling. So right now, before that, I want to thank you for doing this with us. Great information. I definitely know I got some people that will need to talk to you. So I'm glad we got all your information and everything. We'll make sure we have it out there. So thank you once again. And everyone, here is a word from our sponsor. Hello, y'all. And that was our sponsor, Body Crush. Please go to her. She is really good, really good. Our next person we have board certified consultant Sean Perry, who has a master in behavior analyst. Hi, Miss Sean. How you doing?
Hello. How's everybody doing?
The floor is yours. I'm gonna go ahead and put myself on mute. You go right ahead.
Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure. I want to give it back to you, Legacy Counseling, and everyone that was on the platform. What I heard so far has been amazing, and I salute you, all you beautiful Black queens, doing your thing. Listen, I have my master's in human services and counseling. I am not a licensed therapist, but I do have the skills and the techniques to help. I also have my master's in in behavior analysis, where I am working towards becoming a board certified behavior analyst. So I've been in the human services field for over 22 years, helping people help themselves. Pretty much, that's what I do. So I'm a behaviorist by trade. So I work with adults with disabilities and your everyday adult, helping them behave their way through life, right? So one of the ways that I do that and how I help people, one of the many ways is through advocacy, right? My business is called Sharing Consultation Services, and I started that business because I wanted to have something of my own. After being with the company for almost 10 years and then walk into an office and they say, we can no longer afford to pay you effective immediately, you no longer have a job. I didn't want to be in that position anymore. So when the opportunity was presented to myself, as far as the credit restoration business, because that's another arm, we financial literacy, we have advocacy, which I'm a domestic violence advocate, and I work with people who have been victimized, and I help them again find healing, find hope, find resources. And so I pride myself on being the empowerment queen. I empower people, I educate people, I equip them with knowledge and with resources. So that's one of my passions. And that's why I do what I do. The behavioral piece is me helping people that deal with depression every day through the behavioral piece of it. We have talk therapy through our other licensed therapists and things like that. And I include the behavior portion. And the young lady, Sharon, said, all behavior is communication. She is absolutely right. All behavior, everything we say, everything we do is behavior. So she's speaking my language. And so one way we help people financially through that is we help people who are credit challenged, right? They have issues, their score's not where it should be, they don't have the buying power that they used to have for whatever reason. Sometimes life just happens, right? It's not everyone that's irresponsible with their money who has bad credit. I'm going to give you an example because I worked for all these years, and when I lost my job, I had to leverage my own credit, right? So, which means I had a lot of utilization, and it took my score down. Not because I was being irresponsible. So, when I say life happens, it's nothing to be ashamed of. My ideal client is the person who is not ashamed and they're ready to fix what they have been ashamed of. I tell you, it's no need. There's over 70 million people with less than perfect credit in this world, and I want to help every last one of them. But the person that who is looking for me is the person who needs help building their credit, is the person who needs help establishing their credit if they don't have it, is the person who is looking to purchase a home and don't know how to do it and don't have the credit that they need to walk into a mortgage broker or to a car dealer and get the cars that they want. They walk out with the cars that people give them because they're not in a position to say, listen, which credit report are you going to run? What this is my credit score, and I know what I can get. So who are you using to run my credit? That's a simple credit. That way, if they're using TransUnion, you know what your TransUnion score is. So my job is to educate you on all your scores. And we also offer financial literacy, teaching you how to manage your credit, how to manage your finances, because people who do not manage their money cannot master their money. So that's the financial literacy piece of our credit restoration program. So we're not just credit repair, we are financial literacy. And so the ideal person that I would like to work with, right? I'm building a team, and we are in all 50 states, United States, Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and Guam. So I'm looking for anyone who's looking for me. I'm looking for the person that's compassionate. I'm looking for the person that wants to help people. I'm looking for the person who is willing, who is coachable, and who's hungry. This is a business and this is network, and your network is your net worth. And I love being able to network with this group of people or whoever wants to build their wealth. And so we are trying to leave a legacy counseling. We're trying to leave a legacy for our family. I want to impact the community. I want to impact the world. So when you meet Sean Perry, I want you to be better because you met me. So what I'm saying is I offer anyone who is starting their own home-based business the opportunity just to step out on faith. Learn your skill, learn your craft, master it, and walk in confidence, because when you have confidence, you're able to speak and believe what you're saying, and people will trust you. So I advise you to work on yourself. That's one of the most important things is personal development. When you're in this industry, you need to have a mindset that says, listen, I don't care what you say. I know what I do works. I believe in me. I believe in my product. And I know that we change lives. So you can say what you want to say, but I'm telling you, this thing works. And so when you change your mindset and anyone can tell you no, you don't take it personal. I detach from outcomes. So I'm building a team who think like me. You don't have to be like me. We are all individual, we're all different, and we all bring something to the table. So I want a diversified team, people in every state. I'm building my team in every state. That's what I want. That's what I'm looking for. And so if you have that desire and you have that passion and you're willing, I am your person. So my website is sharonconsultation.services. If you have any questions, if you have anything that you want answered, and today only, I am offering you guys a promotion. If you want to get started on your financial journey to freedom, if you want to get started on, starting your own home-based business, just drop some, and if you drop the word legacy, when you reach out to me, we're going to use that as the coupon for the day. That'll be your discount. Okay. So if you text me, my number is 973-699-6877. You text the word legacy, I will offer you the discount that we have today running for up until midnight today. And if you have any questions, any comments, listen, I'm going to help you to behave your way through life. And your financial well-being is my goal for you. And you have to want it for yourself. So our program, how we help people, is you have to participate in your own rescue. Like if you didn't get bad credit overnight, you're not going to get great credit overnight. So it's a process. And like the lady said, you have to trust the process. And if you trust the process with me, I'm definitely will walk you through it. I'm that person that will walk you through, follow up, check on you. I'm the follow-up queen. And I will check on you to make sure that you're on target to meet your goals. It's not about me, but it's about how I can serve you. I'm a servant first. And so if I can serve you and help you, that's my job. And that's where the passion comes from. That's why I do what I do. Okay. So any questions, reach out to me. Again, type legacy in the comments or text legacy to 973-699-6877, and you will be blessed just because you met me. And thank you,
You
Brenda, and
better
thank you,
do it,
Legacy
Miss Sean.
Counseling. Thank you for having me today. This is a wonderful platform. I'm so proud and so honored to be here with you ladies. And God bless. Y'all have a wonderful rest of the day.
Oh, no problem at all. Thank you for sharing those tips with us. And I probably need to talk to you at the end of this, but okay.
I got
All
you.
right,
I
Miss
got
Sean.
you.
Thank you. Thank
Have
you
a
so
wonderful
much.
day.
You too. All right. And next up, we have Miss Felicia Cameron, licensed clinical social worker in the state of Mississippi. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me, Legacy Council. Can you hear me pretty well?
I can. And the
Look,
floor is yours. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself.
thank you. My name is Felicia Cameron. I'm a licensed clinical social worker from the great hospitality state of Mississippi, and I am the founder and owner of Lending a Hand LLC, which was established in 2019 as a mental health practice that serves the residents in the state of Mississippi. Lending a Hand was birthed out of the idea of thoughts that I had in my mind. And not only these thoughts that I had in my mind, but I've written them down on paper. I have over 17 years of experience in social work, working with children and adults. I have worked in different settings such as Child Protective Service, clinics, hospital, mental health facilities, and addiction treatment facility. Well, in 2019, I work at an agency that was totally different than any other agency that I worked before. The difference in this agency was it was all African American. Yes, all African American. This was my first time ever seeing all African American run an agency. And the owner of the agency was an African American female. And this agency has been around for decades. Everywhere I looked, those in authority and leadership was all African Americans. This gave me an opportunity to expose myself to being in a place that I see African Americans running things. I was inspired and motivated about the possibilities of what I can accomplish working here. I was hired to work there as a social worker to provide service to counseling service to those in the community. And while I was there, I used the opportunity to think and thought about it. Why can I be a business owner? Why I cannot be an entrepreneur? Look, there was no one in my family at that time that had a business. So I went to God and I prayed about this decision. It's a major decision. So I sought God for guidance and prayer. And I felt that inner peace to start a business. With prayer and peace, the business lending a hand was established. Look, I stepped out in faith, but I stepped out with actions, with major support with my family. Yes, even though I stepped out in faith to establish lending a hand, there was hurdles. Hurdles of how am I going to do this? Hurdles of where are the money going to come from? Hurdles of dealing with my own inner self-confidence. But I stepped out. I kept running. And when those hurdles came, I jumped over those hurdles. And the way that I jump over those hurdles is by information. I asked a lot of questions from a lot of different people. I researched Google and Facebook to get the information so I can jump over those hurdles. Look, we all have to do life. And in life, we experience hard times, tough times in life, like I did, or hurdles as I call it. Look, like I needed someone to help me, you also need someone to help you. We just need just that help, someone to give us a hand, just a little hand to help us. And that's what lending a hand is all about. It is about providing people that hand to help them through the tough times in life. I provide counseling service to individuals 18 and over, male and females, particularly African Americans. And I specialize with working with women issues and relationship issues, such as couples therapy, relationship with problems with your family, and work conflict. And many of the clients I work with, yeah, they have issues with anxiety and depression. But look, I work with my clients as a team. I provide my clients with the tools and the techniques for them to reach their goal, outside of the four walls of the therapy room. Look, I'm motivated. My family motivate me. And I'm so motivated when I see someone step out and make the effort to get help and get counseling. And since I am motivated, I want to help them reach their goal. They made an effort to call and get counseling, and I want to be with them on that step to reach their goal. And so, reach their goal. Not only do I provide therapy for clients, but I also offer a workshop, my signature workshop called What's Love Got to Do with It? It deals with helping individuals and couples identify that one missing ingredient so they can experience true fulfillment in their relationship. My workshop is interactive, meaning we will talk about what is love. We will talk about the five love language. And not only do we talk about the five love language, you will lead that workshop identifying what is your primary love language. My next workshop is going to be June 27th, and I'll give you more information at the close of this segment on how you can join it. Not only do I do workshop, yes, I'm starting to do Facebook Live. And starting in the month of May, I'll be hosting Tuesday Talk with a Therapist myself. This is a time where I spend about 10 to 15 minutes talking about subjects that I have learned from in our counseling session with you. And so Tuesday Talk will be on Tuesday. You can join Tuesday Talks by going to Facebook Live, lending my hand, and I'll see you this first Tuesday. Last, I'm also the author of two journals. One of them called The Big D, which is dealing with depression, and the second journal is called Racing Thoughts, dealing with anxiety. Both of these journals has coping skills in it. Not only do they have coping skills in the journal, but they provide there's space in that journal that provide you opportunities for you to jot down any depressing thoughts and anxiety thoughts. So you can Empty those thoughts out of your head into those journals. Both of these journals are you can purchase on Amazon, and you also can go to my website, www.lendingmyhand, click on resource, and click on the image, and you can purchase the journals. Look, my advice that I want to leave with a therapist who wants to start their business. Number one, ask questions. You do not know if you don't ask questions. Ask as many questions as you need to. Ask questions. Number two, get an understanding. Look, in all you're getting, get an understanding. So you want to understand that the information that you receive so you can proceed. So get an understanding. Number three, start small, but start. Look, many times as therapists and starting a business, we think that we have to have everything in place, all the big stuff, but you can start with just the very basic. Start small, but start. Start. Number four, get a coach and follow their recommendation. When I say get a coach, find someone that you can relate to, someone who's been through the path that you have been to, who can teach you how to run a successful business, who can tell you about the hurdles of life and how to conquer those things. But not only get a coach, but you have to follow their recommendation because they've been on the path that you have been on. So get a coach. Number five, be willing to stretch yourself outside of your comfort zone. Starting a business is a stretch. Doing counseling and in your own practice is a stretch. But you have to get out of your comfort zone to know what you can do. So be willing to allow yourself to be vulnerable and to be stretched outside of your comfort zone. And last, I like to share some information for the viewers. If you're considering about getting counseling, look, get yourself together. If you need counseling, get yourself together. You cannot do this alone, but you can do this if you have the right tools to get the job done, like I did. For counseling, make the step, do the research, Google, ask people around, make the call, schedule the appointment for counseling, and follow through. Lending a Hand LLC is here to provide you with the tools to get yourself together. Look, go to my website, www.lendingaHand, so you can get more information about the resources that I share about the journals, the Big D depression, as well as the racing thoughts dealing about anxiety, but also to get on the waiting list for What's Love Got to Do with It conference. Look, you got to be there. So get on the waiting list so you can learn about those 5 love languages and you can identify what is your love language. Back to you, Brenda.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the information, the love languages, the journals, your steps, just start. That's almost close to what I say about just do it. Yes, thank you for that. Everyone, you can get her information at the end, as she said. Log into her website so that you can get on the waiting list to the What's Love Got to Do with It.
Yes.
Make sure we check that out. But thank you for coming.
Thank you, Legacy Counseling.
Thank you. You have a good one. All right, and a word from our sponsor. Hello, everyone. We're waiting on the next person to come up. While we're doing that, I just want to take the time out to thank those who were a part of this showcase. Um, Definitely to all the ladies, definitely to everyone that showed interest but wasn't able to get on for today. I also would like, she's going to kill me for doing this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I call her my business bestie, Miss Jennifer Jackson with Beauty Industry Elite. She is in the background right now. So she's so, she just sent me a message. So she's in the background doing all the kinks. She is a phenomenal coach. She is teaching me everything, so I'm able to do this myself. So I'm learning how to run all this stuff myself in the near future. So if you are starting out and needing anything, learning the ins and outs about business, how to market, all that stuff, you need to check her out. She is great. I've talked to her many of times. I'm sure she's probably tired of talking to me, but she's always there. That's what I love about her. And I'm going to give her those soft pretzels that she loves. Maybe somebody can help sponsor that out and get me and get some for that. But on a serious tip, I do want to thank everybody who was a part of this. As I said before, I will be doing another showcase in a couple months. I would like to network, partner up with people that are business like minded, that is going in the direction that I am going on. This journey that I am going through is has been so eye opening, has been very humbling. Um, I have it's taken me places that I didn't know was there, didn't know existed. I've met people that I otherwise probably would not have met uh, by doing this. I have learned a great deal about myself, what I've tolerated, what I've settled for. I have learned that very creative in certain things. As I say to a lot of people that know me, I'm good with getting ideas out there. Bad when it comes to the execution, but I'm learning that. That's what I'm getting from Miss Jen. Everything that these ladies have talked about, I hope that people who are starting out or thinking about doing anything, is have taken notes. I have taken notes. I'm a forever student. I mean, you can't be a great leader if you can't be a great follower. And I know that these ladies have are expert in their field, not only in their field but in business. And they are very supportive. So I am happy to be in their circle, be able to network with them for future projects, and any way that I can be of service for them, I will gladly be there. If they need anything from me, any to speak to my people or whatever, anything like that, I am there. Um, but right now we are going to our next person, and we have Miss Diana Andre. She is a licensed mental health counselor in Florida and New Jersey. Hi, Miss Diana. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. The floor is yours. I'm going to go ahead and bow out. Let me put myself on mute.
Okay. Yeah. So my name is Diana name is Andre. I am a licensed mental health counselor in Florida, and I'm also licensed in New Jersey. I am the founder of Expressions Therapy Center here in Apollo Beach, Florida. I serve children and families mostly. I'm a big proponent of children's mental health, and everything that I do is actually geared towards making sure that children are served properly for their mental health needs. I do strongly believe that children's mental health is overlooked too often. We talk a lot about self-care for adults and making sure that we get to where we need to be mentally, but we forget about the children that are suffering just like we are, but that don't have the tools, the coping strategies that we probably learned along the way or didn't learn along the way, and they too are experiencing stressors and anxieties and what have you in life, and they don't have an outlet. And so we tend to forget about them when we talk about self-care routines and putting ourselves in therapy. We forget about the little ones. So I'm a big proponent of children's mental health matters, and that's my motto and my hashtag. I started my business in the midst of the pandemic. I became fully licensed in February of 2020, and I immediately did all the paperwork that I needed to do to become legal. My very first client was actually a referral from a neighbor of mine, and I was so excited because this was my very first private client. I've worked in the field, of course, many years. Prior to private practice, I was working with an agency, working with children and families as well. And what pushed me to open up my own private practice is that there was just something that was missing. I don't like working for others. I absolutely love making up my own rules that I feel will benefit my clients. And when you're working for an agency, there's a lot of politics involved. And I just didn't like the politics. And I just felt like the area in my community, there was something that was missing for our community. One thing that I noticed in the agency, and it was of no fault to the agency, of course, is that there weren't a lot of Black people receiving therapy. We had Black therapists, but we didn't have a lot of Black clients that were receiving therapy, and that was missing in our community. The need for us to push and to normalize therapy for people in our community. And lo and behold, with the pandemic and with the atmosphere that we had going on, with the social injustice that was happening, I jumped on a train and I haven't let go since. And I have been receiving a lot of referrals from people in our community that are wanting therapy. And so that has been my sole purpose as a social justice warrior, is to make sure that I do my part in this fight, actually, is that not only do I normalize therapy, but I'm there to support our Black brothers and sisters, and especially the children, that I'm there because the biggest thing that I've gotten, the biggest feedback that I've gotten is that most people did not do therapy because they didn't find anyone that looked like them, and they didn't want to code switch, and they didn't feel like that therapist would understand. And when they see me, when they come looking for me, that's the first thing that they say. I had this one client, she reached out to me knowing that I was Black, and she still had to verify. She's like, "Are you sure you're Black? Okay, good, because that's what I needed as a Black therapist." So that is my sole purpose, is to make sure that I am here to normalize therapy, but also be there for those who need that outlet and who need someone, and I'm here for that. One of the things that I've been doing in promotion for children and mental health is creating, over spring break, I created a social skills spring break camp where we gave children the opportunities to learn different social skills, learning how to strategize, how to communicate, and learning to love who they are. Majority of my campers were Black, and this was such a great experience for them. They were engaging in chess. We did beginners chess. We also did Lego therapy, and we did art therapy. And so in my practice, I do a lot of play therapy activities as well as art therapy activities with the kids. And so basically, this is how I am pouring into my community, is giving children an outlet and allowing them um, to learn the skills that they need to be productive and successful human beings. All right, Brenda. All set.
Thank
Right?
you for that. Thank you for that. Um, Play therapy. How did you get into play therapy? Just wondering.
How did I get into it? It was actually through the agency, because at the agency, we went into people's homes. And so the one thing that I forgot is I serve clients who are 3 years of age and older. And at 3 years of age, they can't really do talk therapy. So you have to essentially play with them, play different games with them, do different art therapy activities to get them to learn the skills that they're looking for. There's just so many different skills. For example, a simple game of Mother May I or Red Light, Green Light
Mm-hmm.
helps kids learn how to control their impulses and learn how to
Yeah.
follow directions. And that it's just simple games like that that parents can actually do at home to help their kids learn social skills and learn how to follow directions and control their impulses and different stuff.
Okay. Uh, did you know about play therapy before you started doing counseling?
No, I did not. I did not. I learned about it at the agency. They did a couple of training with us. And then from that point on, I just fell in love with that. I fell in love with art when I was in college. And I just used it as a way to build rapport with clients. And so it just became something that actually the children love. Not all kids love to talk. So you have to find something to kind of entertain them.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate even saying it that way, but kids don't want to come to therapy. They don't see the need, of
That is
course.
true.
So to grab their attention, I actually had a client the other day where he didn't even want to be there. And it wasn't good enough for me to say, okay, well, I know you've been here for 10 minutes and you don't want to say anything. So I guess we'll just tell your mom we tried. But I didn't try. So I couldn't give up that way. So I just pulled out a board game and I was like, hey, come play this lame board game with me. This is so lame, but since you don't want to talk about anything, we'll just play this board game. And it's actually a board game called Social Skills. And it really is pretty lame, but it gives and he's in middle school, but he anything to not talk he wanted to do. And we ended up talking about emotions, because one of the board games, you roll the dice and you landed on an emotion, and you had to explain how, if there was a time that you felt that emotion. And he ended up just talking about different emotions and how he felt those emotions and how with the coping skills that he uses. And before we knew it, our 50 minutes was up. He was happy, and he did his therapy. Bam, play therapy.
Yeah. See, I didn't hear about play therapy either until I started into the field. I'm not certified or anything. There was a lady that was a certified play therapist, so I just picked up some stuff from her. But most of my little kids, like sometimes they can't really articulate their feelings or what's going on. They're just, oh, I'm mad, and that person
Right.
makes me, so I have this one game that I play with the ones that have like the real bad anger or whatever, called Mad Dragon. And it's like
Mhm.
Uno. and they love it. And it got to the point with one of them that I would, if I saw him or whatever out, and I would be like mad dragon, he'll be like, it was something, but it was easy, and he was able to go through the game and be able to explain his emotions, why he felt a certain way, and how he's able to overcome, and what coping skills and things that he can use for that, which was great. There's a lot of games and stuff out there that makes some therapy sessions tolerable,
Right.
and able and easy to get through. But
Right.
before I let you go, can you give us your social media sites, your
Yeah,
websites?
everything is all Expressions Therapy Center on Instagram, on Facebook, even on the website. It's www.expressionstherapycenter.com. So I kept it very simple, even with the long name.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for being a part of this. And we have all your information. And just thank you for the support. And we'll see you next time. Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem at all. Thank you for being a part.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. And next up, we have Miss Jessica Johnson, licensed clinical mental health counselor. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking.
Yes.
Floor is yours.
All right. All right. Thank you for having this event. This is great. And so I am very appreciative of being a part of it. So let's see. I am, of course, Jessica Johnson, and I am the owner of Inspiring Hope Counseling and Development Services. Yes, it's a long name. As I think about it, I'm like, okay, maybe you should have went with a shorter name. But it was very important to have those words in there to me because I am very, very much a person who believes in hope. And I want to be a person who inspires others to hope. So that was very important to put out there as part of the name. When I started into the counseling field, I started a little late. So I worked for some years and then decided to go back to school to get my master's in counseling. It was twofold reasons that I did that. People always just like to talk to me and tell me things. And so I found that I was easy to talk to. I found that I usually had some pretty good advice. And so once I had the skill behind it, to know the therapeutic side of it, I felt it would be a good thing for me to do. And so I went that way. And also, I was a person who also had a lot of trauma growing up and a lot of things going on that I needed somebody to talk to. And so I wanted to position myself to be a person that people could come and talk to, and that I would have the experience to help them work through it, and that I can relate. And so when I asked myself, why you went through so many things, I think God allowed me to go through so many things so I would be able to relate to the people that He was going to send to me. And so I value that a lot as a counseling professional. At first, I didn't want to start my own business. Honestly, I was perfectly okay with working in somebody else's practice and having them have the business aspect of it and the responsibility of doing that. I really didn't want to do it. But I realized that in order for me to grow in the way that I wanted to grow and to really focus on the things that were important to me, I needed to allow myself to be the owner and move out of that position of just being a therapist in the office. And another thing that propelled me forward to start my own business was when COVID happened. Everybody was concerned about how things were going to go and if businesses were going to close down. And the owner of the practice said to me, well, I'm going to be okay. The business is going to be okay. And she stopped. And I said, oh, you're going to be okay. In my head, I didn't say it out loud. And at that moment, I realized that you have to move out of the position not knowing if you're going to be okay. You need to be in a position to be the owner and to be responsible for your own well being and your money and your family, just as she had done. And so that is really honestly the thing that propelled me to move forward with that. Although I didn't really want the position of owner and entrepreneur in that manner, I knew it was time, and that was just confirmation for me that it was time to do that. I started my business very slow, still working in another private practice, learning, trying to find people who knew what I didn't know, researching, asking for help, and just going forth doing that. And although I felt very insecure about the business aspect of it, I did it anyway. And so there was a part of me that was just like, oh, I'm a great clinician. Once I'm in that seat, it's going. I got it. But the business aspect was still a little shaky. So I did a lot of research. I found a mentor. I asked for help, and I still ask for help. I use all the resources that are behind me and that I can find to go forward to make the business become all that I want it to be and all that it can be. Let's see. And so that really birthed Inspiring Hope Counseling and Development Service. And although I work with my husband and we're working on building a ministry, and this is all connected, I am a faith-based clinician, although I have the licensure to be a secular clinician as well. My values and my faith and the way that I see things is the way that I go about my life. It really is the guide point that I use, the light that I use as I do anything. And so that is including therapy. So when I'm doing that, I'm usually incorporating that in, and I love to work with people who are looking for that aspect in their life and in a therapeutic experience. There are also people who are not looking for that, and I respect that as well. But I still believe that through the training that I have and the education and through my own personal skill, that I am able to help those people as well. And if by chance they change their mind and move into that position of asking for faith-based information or counseling, hey, we move there as well. I like it to be fluid. And so sometimes that happens and the fluidity comes forth and I'm able to move from one position to another. And there are times that it doesn't, but either way, I'm very confident in the ability to help people where they're at. I believe that if I position myself and if we position ourselves in a place that we can help people where they're at and see their need and meet their needs, then we are essentially doing ministry at itself, whatever the need of the person is, because that is what ministry is. It is meeting the needs of the people. And I do that in a counseling field as my secular job, as my and in using my faith as well. Let's see. So I work with all types of clients. I specialize in using trauma and trauma therapy and also faith-based counseling. Those who are struggling with trauma, those who are struggling with life issues. Yes, most of those things, people who are couples, relationships, families, struggling with anxiety, depression, identity issues, spirituality issues, grief, relationships, and addiction. I haven't worked with a lot of addiction lately, but it is something that I still hold the certification in addiction in Ohio. So I can work with addiction, and I found that addiction is an area that I didn't think I would like in the beginning, but I found in my time when I was in Ohio working with addiction that I found numerous people who had great stories and had the ability to be redeemed in their lives. So I do that. Let's see, Christianity for me is very important. So using faith and therapy to improve the mental and emotional health of people and helping to remove the stigma of mental health while maintaining their faith is very important to me. And so that leads me to, what am I doing? I am next week, actually, May 8th, May 8th at 11 o'clock, I will be holding a workshop. It is titled, When Prayer is Not Enough. Let's talk about it. What do we do when prayer is not enough? And so, what we will be discussing and what I will be teaching in that workshop is how to combine your faith and therapy if you need it. You can have Jesus and a therapist, and it's okay. It is definitely okay to have both. Your emotional health is important to Jesus. Your mental health is important to Jesus. And so, anytime that we have had, and even if we go to the Bible, God uses people to get his word across, to get his message across, to provide healing. And so there is no harm in using therapy in Jesus. So in that workshop, I am going to talk about removing the myths and stigmas of mental health in the Christian body, in the church. And I am going to try and lead people to having whatever they need. And so, whether it's a combination of both and removing the fear that they can have and the stigma and not having enough faith, or I'm not faithful enough if I can't just pray it away. Well, sometimes prayer is not enough. And so, I want people to come on out, hear me work and work through this, because I am going to work the text. Yeah, I'm not going to preach to y'all, but I am going to work the text. I am going to work the therapeutic techniques in order to show you and release you from the fear and from the mindset that says that you only have one way to get to your best self. That is not true. There is numerous ways to get to your best self. So as my motto goes, be intentional about becoming your best self. This is not the cliche song, I'm living my best life. Yeah, live that. I need you to really live your best life. Exactly. Because yeah, we living our best life, we're traveling, we're doing all this stuff, but then your soul is in pain. Your mind is not at rest. So you need to be able to have holistically your best life. And so,
oh, you better get it, Miss
yes, rise up, rise up. I am excited. Yes, I'm excited. I get to talk about this stuff. I'm a
that
nurse.
that is great. I felt like I was going back in church, but
Listen.
before we let you go ahead and give us your social media sites, your website, so people know where to get to you.
Okay, so my website is www.ihcdservices.org. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, both at the same, at Inspiring Hope PLLC. So you can find me there. You can find information about me there. You can reach out to me there. I look forward to meeting like-minded people and people who are looking forward and intentional about getting to their best life. So thank you for having me. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for being a part of this.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have a great one.
You also.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, let me get to the ad. Can I do the ad now?
Yes, wrong.
I'm Angela Jackson. The face of the Jackson Impact. Interrupting stigma. On mental health. How, you ask? Spreading awareness. Sharing coping skills and blocking labels. Follow me for more on mental health. The Jackson Impact.